morning, everyone. We'll do a bit of everything today, but we're going to emphasize creating stabilization in the whole circumference of the abdominal cavity and help create mobility in the full circumference of the hip joint. Okay? We're going to start with some reclined stuff that's slow and quiet, but it's going to start to get you in there and set a tone. So lay on your back, knees bent, bottom of the feet to the sticky mat. Rest your hands on your belly. Let the eyes soften. They can close if it feels natural for them to close. And then just take a moment and feel the contact of the body with the floor and the really easy rise and fall of your breath. And you feel the contact of the body with the floor, and you feel the unefforted, easy rise and fall of your breath. Good. Just another moment, directing your attention to the experience of embodiment through feeling the body's sensations and the exchange of your breath. Simple, poignant stuff. Good. And then take your right knee, cross it on top of your left knee. Common to take ankle to knee, which is also really nice, but see if you can get the knee all the way on top of the other knee, like you were sitting in Gomukhasana. Then draw your legs towards you. Lift your head and chest away from the ground for a moment. Take the arms around the outside of the legs, reach down and hold the outside of the ankle bones, right? And actually hold the top of the outer ankle bones. That's a little bit easier for the neck, a little bit easier for the arms. Good. And then take your head back down to the floor. Some of you, right off the bat, will feel quite a bit of sensation here. Okay, you feel a deep stretch in the outer wall of the hip, outer wall of the leg. For others of you, it will be mild, if at all. So for those of you that are mild, that experience a mild sensation in this pose, draw the knees a little bit closer towards the chest, and holding onto the shins, separate the shin bones a little bit further. Good. Then if it's still mild, consider yourself lucky and just enjoy it being mild. Take a couple breaths. Not everything in yoga has to be intense. As you stay a little bit longer, accessing the shape, creating this openness in the lateral portion of the hip, tune your awareness to the breath, and specifically tune your awareness to the inhale and encourage the inhalation to feel wide. So 1 or 2 more cycles of breath. Inhale into the sides of your rib cage. Good. And then as you exhale, untangle the legs. Take the legs into Happy Baby's pose. Good. And then keep your right leg in Happy Baby's pose. Let your left leg go, straighten it towards the front of the sticky mat. Keep it an inch or 2 above the ground. Good. Good. Now, keeping that heel just slightly lifted away from the ground, press the heel towards the front of the room where I'm sitting. Pull the toe tips away from the front of the room. Make the bottom leg very firm. And then continuing to breathe, continuing to elevate the left heel just slightly. Lift your head and chest away from the ground. Take your left hand, hold your right heel. So now both hands will be holding that foot. And then let go with the right hand and sneak that right elbow inside and behind that right knee. Good. Then right hand holds that right Achilles tendon or heel. Take a moment or 2. Good. Another moment. Lean the upper body a little bit further back, but keep some abdominal involvement. Take another inhalation. Then exhale, release. Knees bent, feet on the floor. Take the left knee on top of the right knee. And then like you just did a few moments ago, draw the knees towards the chest, lift the head and chest. Reach down, hold the outer ankle bones. Good. And then holding those outer ankle bones from the top or the shin, bring the head back down to the floor and settle into Reclined Gomukhasana, Supta Gomukhasana, a couple of breaths. The hip joint is full circumference. It's really 360 degrees. has muscular compartments that surround the whole perimeter, the whole circumference. And in the back and outside of the hip, there's a lot of dense tissue. So as you take another moment or two, just realize to effectively get into the hips, you have to do a lot of different things and spend some time there. These are thick, dense muscles. Good. Be patient with it. Another cycle of breath or two. If you've got more space in your body to work with, pull the shin bones away from each other. It's good that you're breathing. Then on the exhale, unwind. Take the legs into Happy Baby's pose. Keep the left leg in Happy Baby's pose. Let go of the right. Straighten the right leg forward. Lift the head and chest. Take a few breaths here. Good. Now as you settle in, drive that right heel forward towards the front of your sticky mat. Pull the toe tips away from the front of that sticky mat. Then staying a little bit longer, take the right hand, hold the left heel. Take the left elbow just inside the back of that left knee. So you have a little bit more weight, a little bit more leverage. And then without going all the way down to the floor just yet, lean your upper body, not just the head, but the upper back a little bit further back to ratchet that left hip. Good. Take one more inhalation. And then exhale, slowly release. Knees bent, bottom of the feet to the sticky mat. Then lift the hips up just a tiny bit. Palms face down under your hips. And then sit on the back of your hands. Extend the legs straight towards the ceiling. Pause for a moment with the legs straight, heels towards the ceiling. So reach the heels up towards the ceiling. So hip joints a 90-degree angle. And as you stay here for just a moment, firm the back of the pelvis, the sacrum, down into the hands. Good. Then, in a moment when you make the movement that you're going to make, you're neither going to increase nor decrease the curve of the lower back. Keep the curve of the lower back as is. Inhale. Then exhale, nice and slowly lower the legs till the heels are just an inch or so away from the ground. Stay there, squeeze the inseam of the thighs together. Inhale while there. Then exhale, slowly re-elevate the legs. This is less abdominal. There's abdominals involved, but it's mainly hip flexors. Take a deep inhalation here, strong legs. Then exhale, slowly lower the legs, inseam of the legs, very firmly held together. Heel bones press forward, stay there. Inhale. Exhale, raise the legs, slow and steady. Good. Inhale while you're there. And then exhale, nice and slowly lower those heels. Pause, hug the inseam of the thighs together. Inhale, inhale. Exhale, raise the legs. Pause there, two more. Inhale. Exhale, slowly lower the legs. Keep lengthening them as they descend. Pause, inhale. Exhale, raise the legs, sacrum firmly embedded in the hands. One more time, inhale. Then exhale, slowly lower, heels just above the sticky mat. Stay there, inhale. Exhale, raise the legs. Good, inhale. And then exhale, bend the knees towards the chest. Slide the hands out. And then bend the elbows 90 degrees to the side. If you have space to straighten the elbows completely, go for it. If not, 90 degrees is fine. And then a real simple version of Jatara Paravartanasana. Keep the knees bent, inhale. And then exhale, lower the knees to the right. Hover the knees just a little bit above the sticky mat. As you stay there for a moment, the legs have rotated to the right, but the abdominal muscles inside are starting to turn to the left. Then on an exhale, use the abdominal muscles to bring the knees back up to center. Inhale while you're there. Exhale, slowly take the knees to the left. Pause there for a moment. Knees are as they are. Abdominal muscles are balancing them. On an exhale, bring the knees back up to center. And then straighten your legs towards the ceiling. What you just did is option B. What you're about to do is option A. Inhale. Then as you exhale, swing the legs out to the right. Legs straight, unless it's too intense, in which case, Please bend the knees. Legs hover above the floor. Stay there. Inhale. Exhale. Slowly bring the legs up. Good. Inhale, legs in center. Exhale, slowly swing the legs out to the left. Pause there. Inhale. Exhale, draw the legs back up to center. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, take the legs to the right, knees long and straight unless they're bent. Stay there, inhale. Exhale, bring the legs back to vertical. One more round, inhale. Exhale, swing the legs to the left. Pause for a moment, inhale. Exhale, bring the legs back up to center. Bend the knees into the chest. And then roll all the way up to sitting. And then sitting, real simple, right shin cross in front of the left shin, hinge forward into a front bend, couple of breaths. With each region of the body, we want a relative balance of stability and mobility. And yet in some regions we want proportionally more stability, and in other regions we want proportionately more mobility. As you settle in for a moment or two, maybe 3 more breaths. In general, of course, we want stability from the hips, but in general, we're looking towards mobility in this region. In the abdominal region, of course, we want some mobility, but mainly stability. With an inhalation, come all the way up to sitting. Tiptoes to the floor, reach the arms straight forward, knees bent. And then first version of Navasana, Pariparna Navasana, but take the hands to the inside of the thighs. With the hands, pull apart, and with the knees, squeeze in. So you have a way of accessing the muscles of the inner thighs. Good, then lift the shins about 90 degrees. Hands pull out, with the knees you squeeze in. Good, so by pulling the hands against the inseam of the thighs and squeezing in, you're accessing the inseam of the legs. Good, keep those muscles active, reach the arms. Straighten the legs if you're able, otherwise knees bent. Inhale. Exhale, left shin crosses in front of right shin. Hinge forward, couple of breaths. Good, walk the fingertips as far forward as they'll go. Make the sitting bones heavy, spine long. The nice and patient way, intervals of emphasizing abdominal strength and stability and pelvic suppleness. Take one more deep in-breath down into the bottom ribs, belly, hip joint. And then nice and easy, come all the way back up to sitting. Again, tiptoes to the floor. One more time with the hands on the inside of the thighs. Pull out with the knees, pull in. So you're engaging the adductors. Then lift the shins. Keep doing that. Squeeze in against the press of the hands. Keep that action, straighten the legs. Reach the arms. Good. Another inhalation. Then exhale, hands to the floor behind you. Cross the right ankle on top of the left inner knee. If that's too much, take the right shin in front of the left shin. Take the thumbs into the hip creases. Press down. And then tilt the pelvic rim forward. Spine follows. And you walk forward through those hands. Now take a quick peek at the top ankle, the right ankle. See if you see any bend in it, any sickling in that foot. And if so, flex that right foot, take the foot a little bit higher towards that knee so that the ankle isn't doing the hip joint's job. Good. Quite a bit of rotation at the hip joint, no rotation at the ankle joint. Good, another cycle of breath or two. Let that breath move down towards the hips, belly, and legs. Good, then with an in-breath, come all the way back up to center. Take the hands behind you to the floor, fingertips facing forward, and then lean back on those hands. Reach the legs, Pariparna Navasana. Good, then reach the arms forward. Good, lift the chest a little bit higher, toes spread, firm the thigh muscles, another inhalation. On the exhale, hands to the floor behind you. Cross the left ankle on top of that right inner knee. Thumbs to hip creases, press down, see that front foot, no bowing in the ankle. Good, with an in-breath, find a little bit more length to the torso. And then exhale, hinge forward, walk the hands forward. As you settle in for just a few cycles of breath, and sitting bones are heavy, torso's long, and breath is starting to take on a little bit more character, a little bit more depth, a little bit more rhythm. One more deep cycle of breath, directing that inhalation towards the mid-body. And then with an inhalation, come all the way up to center. Lean back on the hands, extend both legs straight forward. Bend the knees, lift the legs. Good, then continuing to breathe, reach the arms forward. Good, another cycle of breath or two. Squeeze the inner ankle bones together so that you get that engagement of the inner legs. Then hands all the way behind you. Bend the knees, cross the right knee all the way on top of the left knee. Make whatever adjustments you need to make. Thumbs into hip creases, press down, and then tilt forward. Continuing to breathe, walk both hands forward. First phase, and then there's another thing I like to do in this pose, so a moment or two in this phase. Good, right sitting bone heavy, torso long. Good, then continuing to breathe, walk the hands in just a little bit. Stay in the pose, but walk the hands in. And then take the left elbow underneath that right knee, pull up on it a little bit. Yes, so left forearms underneath the knee, you're pulling up on that arm. And then take the right fingertips just to the right, lift and turn the chest to the right. It's almost like you want to take a twist, but you're not quite getting there, right? It's just another way to access that outer hip. So slightly changing the angle of force through that joint and the rotation of the spine will strike those right outer hip fibers a little bit differently. Good, take another breath in there. And then as you exhale, unwind, upright yourself. Extend the legs straight forward again, Dandasana. Lean back, Paripurna Navasana. Good, legs strong. Good, still actually, this isn't that much of an abdominal pose, much more of a hip flexor posture. Good, more hip muscle stuff. Good, another inhalation. And then exhale, hands behind you, bend the knees. Take the left knee on top of the right knee. Make whatever adjustments you need to make. Thumbs into hip creases. Inhale, long waist. And then exhale, hinge forward. Walk the hands forward. Settle in, first phase. As I've gotten to know and understand and feel the hip muscles better over time, I'm starting to take more and more subtle variations in common poses. Because when we take a real subtle variation in a common pose, you will tend to get to the same muscles in a slightly different way, and that's valuable. Take a nice slow, deep inhalation in there. And then exhaling, walk the hands a little bit back. Take the right forearm, scoop it underneath the left knee, pull the knee up, left fingertips next to the left knee, lift and turn the chest to the left a little bit more. That's it. Good. With that arm, pull up against the knee. With the knee, resist, press down and away against the arm. Staying with that, draw the outside of the left hip crease and sitting bone back. Turn the rib cage, another inhalation. Then as you exhale, slowly unwind, untangle your legs, and extend the legs forward into staff pose, Dandasana. Good, now a different version of Navasana, one that emphasizes abdominals much more. Take one hand to the belly, take one hand to the heart, and like you just got the wind knocked out of both, hollow both back. Tilt the pelvic rim back, so you're not trying to lift the chest, you're dropping it, and then lean back. Good, lean back, lean back, lean back. Get as low as you can get, and then hands to the outside of your thighs. Good, more abdominals, less hip flexors. Good, another inhalation. Then exhale, bend the knees, re-straighten the legs. Take the hands behind you. Right ankle on top of left inner knee again. Good, now with that right ankle on top of the left inner knee, reach the right arm up towards the ceiling. Inhale. Then exhale, take the back of the right hand into the arch And slide that arm as low down the leg as it'll go. Good. Press the forearm and the foot together. Lift and turn your chest. If ankle on top of knee is too much or it doesn't work for your knees, right shin in front of left shin is just fine. So here again, you have same pose we did earlier. You're creating a little bit different rotation through the hips and through the spine to get the same stuff in a slightly different way. Good. Another deep inhalation. And then as you exhale, slowly release. Extend both legs straight forward. Take one hand to the belly, one hand to the heart. Good. Then lean back. Keep leaning back. And then when you're on camera, you gotta know how to look good. So you slide a block behind you that no one can see. And you do the pose perfectly. Ardha Navasana. Good. Another breath. Ardha Navasana. Good. And then bend the knees. Pariparna Navasana. Inhale. Hands behind you. You move the block at that point. And then left ankle on top of that right inner knee. Inhale. Stretch the left arm up towards the ceiling. Exhale. Back of the left hand into the arch. And then slide it down just as low as it'll go. Then, hand and foot press together, arm and foot, whatever's in contact, press them together, lift and turn your chest. Yes, lift and turn the chest. So you get the spinal rotation with it, but really it's the rotation of the spine that has a slightly different effect on the rotation of that left outer hip. Good, another moment or so. These are thick, complex, deep muscles. We have to vary how we get into them. Good. Another slow, deep inhalation. And then as you exhale, unwind. One more for the road. Extend the legs forward. One hand to belly, one hand to chest. Just as proof I can actually do the posture. Lean back. Good. Scoop the belly out. Squeeze the legs together. Interlace the fingers if you're feeling lucky. Ardha Navasana. Drop the chest. Oops. Sorry if that was loud. Good. Take a breath. And then bend the knees. Pariparna Navasana. Inhale. Exhale. Cross the legs. Downward facing dog. And then just settle in for a few breaths in down dog. Settle in. Enjoy the experience of down dog. Again, we are cultivating a balance between stability and mobility. And the truth is, pretty much in every region of the body, we want both stability and mobility. Yet the ratios are different. Some regions we want relative mobility, other regions relative stability. So playing with abdominal circumference, strength and stability, hip joint circumference, mobility, good balance. Good. Another deep inhalation, long arms, long legs. Good. Then from there, rock forward to plank pose. Good. Inhale and plank. And then exhale all the way down. Take your elbows under your shoulders. So make sure that's happening. Sphinx pose, elbows under shoulders, look down. If the elbows aren't there, it won't quite work. Inhale, lift the chest. And then exhale, slowly lift the ribs. Belly, hips, tuck the toes under, straighten the legs. Couple of breaths, forearm plank. Good, dig down, take another in-breath. And then exhale, lower the knees, thighs, hips, belly, ribs. Inhale, chest up. Again, exhale, lift the ribs, belly, hips, thighs, straighten the legs. Good, bear down, dig in. Another inhalation, hips a little lower, Kim. Exhale, knees down, thighs down, belly, ribs down. Inhale, chest up. And then one more in a row. Exhale, forearm plank. Curl the tailbone down, pick the belly up, another in-breath. Then exhale, knees, thighs, hips, belly, front ribs. Inhale, chest forward. Exhale, step the hands back. Press back into downward facing dog. Good, now staying in down dog, bend your left knee deeply, just your left knee. look at the right heel. Turn the right heel in 45 degrees so the foot's turned out 45 degrees. That's it. And then keep doing down dog, but press that right buttock a little bit further up and back. Good. Stay with it. You can even turn your pelvis slightly to the right. As you turn the pelvis slightly to the right, reach through the right arm, get to the outer wall of the right hip. Good. Another inhalation. Then exhale, back to center. Plank pose. Inhale and plank. Exhale all the way down to your forearms, elbows under shoulders. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, slowly come into forearm plank. Now the difference in forearm plank and straight arm plank is that in forearm plank your body is much more parallel to the floor, so the front muscles have to work more. On the exhale, lower knees, thighs, hips, belly, ribs. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, same thing again. We'll do groups of threes, not a million of them, but we'll get in there. Front ribs and thighs up. Tailbone in, inhale. Exhale, slowly lower all the way down. Sphinx pose, inhale. And then exhale one more time in a row, same thing. Good. Bear down through the hands and feet. Cut the tailbone in. And then exhaling, slowly lower it all. Inhale, chest up. And then exhale, slide the hands back. Step back into downward facing dog. Good. While in down dog, bend the right knee deep. Oh, you did that side. Bend the left knee deeply. Bend the right knee deeply, yeah. And then turn the left heel in 45 degrees. So the left foot's turned out 45 degrees. Let the hips turn a little bit to the left. Left sitting bone up and back. Press the outside of that left thigh towards the wall behind you. And use your left arm, both arms, but accentuate the left. Inhale. Then exhale, come back to center. One more group of three, plank pose. Inhale there. Exhale all the way down, elbows under shoulders. Inhale, lift your chest. And then exhale, one fluid movement. Front ribs, belly, hip points, thighs, knees, straight legs. Good. Inhale, head up a little bit. Exhale, knees, thighs, hips, belly, ribs. Inhale. Exhale, a wave from the front ribs to the tailbone. Good. Dig in, another in-breath. Then exhale, bring it all down, Sphinx. Inhale, chest up. Exhale, front ribs in, reach through those legs. Good. Another inhalation. Then exhale, lower it all. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, step your hands back. Downward facing dog. Good. In down dog, root down through the feet. And as you root down through the feet, look at the feet and without actually moving them, create the action of pulling your feet away from each other. Pull the top of the thighs away from each other. Imagine broadening the pelvis and feel that little stretch on the outer legs and outer hips. Inhale, bend the knees. Exhale, jump forward. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way up. Palms touch, look up. Exhale, Tadasana. 2 half salutations. Inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stretch up, palms together. Exhale, thumbs to heart, Anjali Mudra. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, lift halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way up. Use your legs. Exhale, thumbs to breastbone. Continuing to lunges, inhale, reach. Exhale, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, elongate. Exhale, right foot back, knee to the floor. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, hands down, plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga or the floor. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good, now staying in down dog for just a couple breaths. As you inhale, direct the inhalation towards the abdomen. And as you exhale, create just a little bit more abdominal tone than usual. So as you inhale, imagine you fill into the belly. And as you exhale, just a little bit more scooping of the navel than normal. One more deep in-breath, direct it towards your center. Exhale, right foot forward, left knee to the floor. Inhale, stretch the arms up, palms touch. Exhale, hands down, step forward. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stretch up, join the palms. Exhale, Tadasana. Again, inhale, reach up. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, left foot back, knee down. You have time to breathe. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, hands down, plank pose. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Relax the neck, tuck the chin, look towards the inner thighs, the hip creases, or the navel, just depending on your range. And again, when you inhale, direct the inhalation towards the center of your belly. And as you exhale, create just a tiny bit more abdominal tone than usual. Just play with that. Another round. Nice. One more inhalation. Exhale, left foot forward, right knee down. Inhale, stretch the arms up, palms together. Exhale, hands down, step forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, all the way up, real light back bend. Exhale, thumbs to the breastbone. Two more of those. Inhale, glide up. Exhale, forward fold, scoop the belly a little bit as you front bend. Inhale, chest forward, thighs back. Exhale, right foot back, knee down. Inhale, reach the arms. Exhale, hands down, plank pose, you'll hold it. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, upward facing dog, use your thigh muscles. Exhale, downward facing dog. You're accentuating the abdominal movement with your breath right now. As you inhale, you feel like you're filling into your navel. And as you exhale, you're scooping the lower belly in a little bit more than usual. Good. One more in breath, thighs back. Exhale, right foot forward, left knee down. Inhale, stretch the arms up, look up. Exhale, hands down, step forward. Inhale, halfway up, lengthen. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stretch up, palms together. Exhale, thumbs to breastbone. Last like that, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, left foot back, knee down. Inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hands down, plank. Inhale. Exhale, halfway to the floor. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Good. Soft, still, and steady eyes. Rhythmic breath, and a little abdominal tone on the exhalations. Just a little pulse of scooping in as the air empties. Good. One more deep inhalation. Exhale, left foot forward, right knee down. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, hands down, step forward. Inhale, lengthen, ground your feet. Exhale, bow forward. Inhale, stretch all the way up, float your chest. Exhale, hands to heart, feet together. Bend the knees, inhale, Utkatasana. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift halfway up. Exhale, right foot back, knee down. Inhale, stretch the arms up. Exhale, hands down, plank pose. Inhale. Exhale, chaturanga or the floor. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Exhale, downward facing dog. Now everyone in the room is breathing really, really well. Retain it. So as we start to work into a couple of standing twists, lunging standing twists, try to retain the same composure to the breath. You can, you just have to tune into it. On the exhale, step the right foot forward between the hands. Bring the back knee to the sticky mat, both hands to the front knee. Keep breathing, reach the left arm up. Inhale, stretch that left arm a little further. And then exhale, squeeze the left armpit down the right knee, and with that right hand, press in. Good, then right hand to the outside of the right hip. Pull that right outer hip in. And then either keep the left hand as is, or if you have a little bit more range, left fingertips to the floor. With that right hand, keep pulling that right hip in. Emphasize that. Good. Inhale. Exhale. One more time. Inhale. Exhale, unwind. Step back into downward facing dog. Good. Inhale and down dog. Stretch through all four limbs. Then exhale, left foot forward. Bring the right knee down, both hands to the front knee. Keep breathing even though the rhythm just shifted a little bit. Inhale, stretch the right arm up. Exhale, slide the right armpit down that left knee. Left hand on the outside of the left hip. Bring that left outer hip in. So if you look at the outside of the left hip, you're trying to take that left thigh parallel with the long edge of the sticky mat, which means the hip has to come in. Then from there, as is, or right fingertips down to the floor. Good. Just for a moment, pull that left hip in. Inhale. Exhale, unwind. Step back into downward facing dog. And then after that twist, in down dog, let the breath come. Right? Just relax a little bit, let the breath return. Good. And then starting the same way, slow, calm, deep in-breath. Exhale, right foot forward. Left knee to the floor, both hands to the front knee. This time, as you lift the chest, hook both thumbs, stretch the arms overhead. Good. With the thumbs hooked, you have a little bit more leverage to lengthen your central axis. Inhale. Then exhale, right hand to the outside of the right thigh. Left armpit way down that knee. Right hand presses the thigh in. Right hand to the outside of the right hip. Pull it in. Stay as is or left fingertips to the floor. And then stay as is or straighten your back leg. If you straighten the back leg, lift it strongly and continue to pull that right hip in. Squeeze it in, squeeze it in, squeeze it in. Inhale. Exhale, release the twist. Step back into downward facing dog. So the reason in these twists that we're keeping the hand to the outer hip and the thigh is to accentuate the opening of the outer leg and hip. It slightly de-accentuates the rotation of the chest, but it accentuates the rotation of the lower trunk. Nice deep in-breath. Exhale, left foot forward between the hands, right knee down. Good, and then hook the thumbs, reach the thumbs up. Good, nice full in-breath, lengthen up. Then exhale, left hand on the thigh, hold that thigh bone in, and right armpit way down the left knee. Good, left hand on outer hip. Pull it in, right hand as is or fingertips to the floor, stay as is, or straighten your back leg. If you straighten the back leg, engage it, left hand on outer thigh, pull it in. Good, inhale. Exhale, release. Step back into downward facing dog. Good, stay in down dog, take a moment in child's pose, or chaturanga, up dog, down dog, your own pace, whatever suits your need right now. Good. Once you are wherever you're going to be for a breath or two, just feel and locate your body and breath. Just tune in. Good. And then one more of those in a row. Inhale. Exhale, right foot forward, left knee to the floor. Both hands to the front knee. Take a breath or two. Stay steady with the breath, but allow yourself to recover. So especially in twists, try not to get too winded. Hook the thumbs, stretch up through the arms, dig down through the back toes. Inhale. And then exhale, start the same way. Right hand, right thigh, left armpit way down that knee. Right hand to the outside of the right hip, pull it in. Good, then left fingertips to the floor, straighten the back leg. And then here's where it gets really fun, really quickly. Back leg stays straight, and if possible, turn the back heel in and down. So full version, Parivrtta Parsvakonasana, big hip pose, big spine pose. If the fingers are down, stretch the top arm overhead. Inhale. Exhale, hands down. Step back into downward facing dog. That's hard to breathe in. So now breathe. That was hard to breathe in. You knew it was hard to breathe in. Breathe now. Then on the exhale, left foot forward between the hands, right knee down, both hands to the front knee. Take a moment, right? There's no reason to work at a pace that is not accessible to breath. No reason. Hook the thumbs, reach the arms. Good, free, steady breathing. Inhale. Then exhale, left hand on that outer thigh, right armpit down the left knee, left hand on the outside of the hip, pull in, stay as is or fingertips to the floor. If you can straighten the back leg, go for it. Keep that hip pulled in, and then bring the back heel in and down. Good. Turn the chest, and then reach that top arm. Good. Inhale. Exhale, hands down, step back, downward facing dog. Good. Take a moment or two. Feel how now, after having a hard pose to breathe in, breath is right here for you. 3 more breaths here in child's pose or through chaturanga, up dog, down dog. All right, take your choice. All righteous choices, all good decisions. Good. And then from down dog, once you're ready, step the right foot forward between the hands. Pivot on both feet so your feet are parallel and wide and facing the side of your sticky mat. And then a couple breaths, standing forward fold, Prasarita Paravartanasana. Now, in the beginning of class, both reclined and seated, we started working with the outer hips, right? And a lot of times the association in hip openers, take your feet a little bit wider and then both hands to there. A lot of times the association with hip openers is that we just stretch the outside of the hips. But the front, the back, and the inner wall of the legs are just as crucial in terms of their operating function on the hip joint. So another breath or two. In a moment, we're going to focusing on inside of legs, which is also hip joint control muscles. Good. So from here, lift your chest up just a little bit, lengthen your spine. Don't shift your upper body at all, but turn your right foot out 45 degrees. Yeah. So right foot towards the front of the sticky mat, 45 degrees. And then don't change anything else, just bend your right knee. Yeah, good. And then pause there for a moment. There'll be a tendency to lean your upper body towards the right, but try and keep your torso centered. That's it. Good. Stay with it another moment or so. Good. For most of you, this will take it to the inside of the thighs. If not, we have another thing that'll get us there in a moment. That's not a threat. That's just like, I'm just stating the facts. Good. Straighten the right leg. Good. Turn the feet parallel. Turn the left foot out. Turn the right foot stays as is. Left foot out about 45 degrees. And then just bend the left knee. Bend the left knee. There are many more postures that give us good leverage to stretch the outside of the hips than there are ones that stretch the inside of the leg. Okay, and so when we work with hip openers, we tend to work a lot on the outside and not much on the inside. We've got to find these that get us the inside. It's really important. Take a breath there. Then exhale, straighten the left leg, feet parallel. Start the same way. Turn the right foot out 45 degrees, bend that right knee. Good. And then take your right hand away from the floor. Take your right forearm to the inside of the right thigh. And with that right forearm, gently press that right inner thigh out. Good. Groins go back, chest go forward. If you're not feeling a stretch in the inside of the thigh, first, do not make that public. No one else in the room wants to know that. Okay, but if you need more of a stretch, you can separate the feet a little bit further apart. Good. Take another inhalation. And then exhale, straighten the right leg, feet parallel. Turn the left foot out 45 degrees. Bend the left knee. Take the left hand away from the floor, left forearm to the inside of the left thigh, and press that left thigh out. Good. Groins back, chest forward. Yes. Some of you who have more range might bring the right forearm to the floor. If your forearm comes to the floor, though, don't lift your butt. Drop your butt, move the groins down and back, chest up. Good. Inhale in there. And then exhale, straighten that left leg, feet parallel. Take a moment, Prasarita Padottanasana. Make sure your posture feels stable. If the legs are too far apart, shorten them in a little bit. Okay, relax your neck, take a breath. Then hands to hips. Press down through your feet. Inhale all the way up to standing. Good. And then with the hands on the hips, turn the heels slightly in, balls of the feet slightly out. Bend the front knee, hands to thighs. Okay, with your hands on your thighs, tilt the pelvic rim forward more, bend your elbows. And then now take your forearms to the inside of your thighs. Good. With your forearms, gently press back with your chest draw forward. Good. Couple of breaths. These are inner thigh muscles that operate on the hip. Okay. These are as much movers of the hip ball and socket as your pigeon pose muscles are. Pigeon pose muscles are just way easier to get to than these, so we tend to crank on them all the time and avoid these. Good. Another breath. Good. And then straighten the legs. Standing forward fold. Take a breath or two. Relax the neck. Hands can go wherever you'd like the hands to go. Okay, take a moment there. And then we'll just do two additional standing poses that really get full circumference of hips and emphasize stretch on the inseam of the leg, inner hip. Hands to hips. Press your feet down. come up to standing. Turn your right foot towards the front of the room. Turn the left foot slightly in. And then bend your right knee. So Viratu shape for a moment, Viratu shape. Right hand holds the inside of the right thigh. If you make a little sound there, you get bonus. Good. And then left hand holds the front of the left hip. Okay? Now, you're not trying to crank anything apart. You're just stretching the tissue a little bit more. So with the right hand holding the inside of the right thigh, imagine you're pulling the skin of the inner thigh towards the knee. So just pull the skin that way. Yeah. And then with the left hand holding the front of the left hip, pull the skin away from that knee. That's it. You're not really trying to change the pelvic position. You're just stretching that skin. Good. Keep that. Stretch the arms wide apart. Inhale. Then exhale, right hand to the floor or a block inside the front foot. Left hand to left hip. Tuck the chin. Look at the pubic region. Look at the right groin. Pull the right hip in. So that right buttock is coming more underneath you. Back leg strong. And then roll your chest open. Keep that right hip pulling in. Right knee presses out. Good. Stretch the left arm overhead. Uddita Parshvakonasana. Good. Inhale. Exhale, left hand, left hip. Inhale, all the way up to standing. Turn your feet parallel. Turn the left foot out, turn the right foot in. Right hand to right hip, left hand to the inside of the left thigh. You can face this side of the room. And then again, you're not trying to move the bones more. Bend that front knee, Viratu. You're just literally with the hands holding the tissue you're holding and stretching the hands away from each other, stretching that skin a little bit. Good. Another moment, just broadening that sort of front wall of the pelvis, muscles that line the inseam of the thighs. These are hip joint controlling muscles that are just harder to get to than the pigeon muscles. Take the arms wide, Virabhadrasana 2. That's it. Good, another in-breath. Exhale, left hand to the floor to a block inside the front leg, right hand, right hip. Pull the left hip and sitting bone in, engage that back thigh, and then reach the right arm overhead, palm facing down. Side angle pose with the arm on the inside, which emphasizes stretching the inner leg. Good, another round of breath, maybe 2. One more inhale. Exhale, right hand, right hip. Then inhale all the way back up to standing. Turn the feet parallel. Fold the palms together. Inhale, take the arms overhead. And then exhale, fold forward, hands down. Good. Take a breath or two in Prasarita Padottanasana and just try and cool. Settle the breath, cool everything. Good. Another moment, Prasarita Padottanasana. Then lift the chest. Hands to the floor in front of the, underneath the shoulders. And then going from now, which is more of a hamstring stretching pose, to an inner thigh and outer hip stretching pose, step the feet as wide apart as they go. Even angle pose, Samokhanasana. And depending on comfort level, well, comfort's a questionable term to bring up right now. Okay? But depending on your preference, if you have space, you might bring the forearms to the floor instead of the arms. And then you can also play with either keeping the bottom of the feet to the floor or rolling the outer edges of the feet away from the floor, right? And sort of play with them. Even angle pose, Samokhanasana. Good. Thighs back, groins back, another in-breath. And then wiggle in a little bit more. Straight arms. Glad that's done, even as a bystander to it. Take a breath. And then hands to hips. Inhale. Stand all the way up. Good. Wiggle your feet together. Hands to prayer. Stay still and take a breath or 2. Be as still as you can. This room is particularly warm. And just feel it. Good. Wherever you are, here or at home, just feel the experience. Be steady in the midst of feeling what you feel. In basic teaching, advanced teaching. Good. Then relax the arms. Good. One more pose facing this direction. Right leg into tree pose. Right leg into tree pose. Vrikshasana. Take the right hand, hold the ankle, and actually take that heel up, right? So get that deep fold to the hip joint. Those of you that have a little bit more range and comfort in the knees, consider taking that right leg into half lotus. So tree pose or half lotus. Now half lotusers, with your left hand, hold your right foot, and then stretch the right arm up towards the ceiling. Now you have the choice of staying here or stretch the right hand around to catch onto that right foot, and then fold forward. Okay, so you're in tree pose, half lotus standing, or half lotus forward folding. One of these postures does not give you more benefit than another. Harder things are not more valuable than not hard things. They're not. They just derive different benefit. Forward folders, bend your standing knee. Come all the way up, join the standers. And then right foot all the way down to the floor. Hands to prayer, take a breath. And press both feet strongly into your mat. Imprint your mat, feel that. Good, and then right hand to right hip. Bend the left knee. Take the left foot to the inside of the right thigh. Or all the way around into half lotus. Half lotusers, reach the left arm towards the ceiling. And then swing that left hand around to catch the foot. If you can catch the foot, forward fold. Ardha Baddha Padmottanasana. There seems to be this instinct or this conditioning that a harder thing is better. It is not better. It's different. Take another moment or two, feel whatever you feel, work with whatever posture you're working with completely. That's beneficial. Forward folders, bend that standing knee a little bit, and then inhale, come all the way up to standing. Good, both feet to the floor. And then hands to prayer, turn to face the front of the sticky mat again. Bend both knees a little bit. And then right ankle on top of the left inner knee. Then right fingertips to the floor or to a block, standing knee bends. Take the left hand, press it against the right heel. Good, couple of breaths. Groins back, chest forward. Good, groins back, chest forward. Jaws soft, temple relaxed, brow relaxed. You're deep in that right hip and managing unnecessary tension that arises as a result of that sensation. This is a straightforward practice. Good. Stay Utkatasana-like. Lift your chest. Reach the arms up overhead. Utkatasana-like. Inhale. Then exhale. Utkatasana, Utkatasana. And then left ankle on top of right knee. Utkatasana-ish. I could make up some silly name for this, but that's the point. And then right hand, left heel, left fingertips down. That's one of my yoga pet peeves. Making up names for everything. This is like Utkatasana and you're stretching your left hip. Take a couple breaths. Pubic bone back, groins back, torso forward, sitting bones wide. Face as soft as you can get it. Breath as steady as you can get it. You are deep down in that left outer hip. Good, stay with it for another moment. And then, Utkatasana-like, lift your chest and stretch the arms overhead. Good, inhale. And then exhale, Utkatasana, Utkatasana. And then one more round with the potential inclusion of a harder pose. Take the right ankle on top of the left knee. And then we're gonna actually wind down pretty deep after this. Fingers all the way down. Good. And then draw the chest forward, groin creases back. That's it. Good, take a moment. And then those of you familiar with Ekapadagalavasana, wrap your mind around it for a moment. Those of you that are not familiar with it, that's totally fine. You might just stay here. Then lean a little bit further forward. See if you can get that shin all the way on top of the arms. Bend the elbows and then think chaturanga. Bend the elbows, lean forward. Then if you can pick that left foot up, or right, whatever that foot is, lift it up. And then reach the leg back. Good. And then everyone, make it to down dog. Pause for a moment in down dog. I would contend the majority of the benefits of the yoga practice come from the simplest things we do. But we play with some harder things as a way of, probably just as a way of staying engaged with it long term. Walk the hands back to the feet. Bend the knees a little bit. One side to do, and then a shifting gears. Left ankle on top of the right knee. Flex that foot, fingers down to the floor. If the hands don't come to the floor, raise the floor. Take a few cycles of breath. Getting it refixed. Okay, and then from here, hands down, thank you. Hands down, lean forward. Get that left shin bone on top of the upper arms, and then think, oh, I want to do chaturanga so bad, I haven't done it enough yet today. Bend the elbows, lean forward. If the right foot comes up, all the better. Stretch it back. And then everyone make it to down dog. Take a moment in down dog, feel your body. And then right leg forward, pigeon pose. Phase 1, splat. Just go straight down. Forearms to the floor, rest the head. Open the mouth and allow a couple of cooling breaths to release through the mouth. That's it. Good. Couple of slow cooling breaths. So cooling, both literally cooling breaths, okay, but also figuratively cooling breaths in that these breaths through the mouth help settle the mind, settle the nerves. Good. Another moment, a couple more breaths. Let everything cool slightly. Good. And then a couple of different phases to this pose. I think these are really important phases to help vary how we get into the same tissues. So, come up onto the arms. I do this in a lot of my classes. This is sort of the default pattern that I do in these poses now. So, arms at a 45-degree angle. Press the hands down, lift the chest. Do what you do in down dog with your arms now. So everything you do in down dog, do it here. Do it pretty actively. Right? In down dog, you don't just sort of lean on the arms. You reach through the arms. You reach through the back leg, deepen the hip crease. And then bring the left forearm to the floor. Take the left hand, hold the right knee. Lift the chest up. That's it. Up, 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 up. And then right fingertips to the outside of the right knee. Lift the chest. Press the right knee into the hand. So push the knee out with the hand, pull it in. Good. Left forearms on the ground. Forearms down. Elbows on the floor. Another breath. And then as you exhale, come back to center. Yes, both forearms on the floor. Now, keep both forearms on the floor. Right now, both sides of your ribs are equidistant to the floor. There's no rotation of the torso. Keep that, and then just walk both forearms a couple of steps to your left. Good. Press the forearms down. Take a breath or two. Same pose, accessing the same region, but creating a slight variance in how the torso is positioned, and so slightly affecting those groups in different ways. Good, another breath. And then walk the hands back to center. Hobble back into dog pose. Pause there for a moment. Down dog. Relax your neck, stretch your thighs back. We want a balance between stability and mobility in the body. Pretty straightforward stuff. Some parts are more stable, some parts are more mobile. That's what we're emphasizing. Stability of midsection, mobility of hip joint. Left leg forward, pigeon pose. Go straight down for a couple breaths, couple of cooling breaths. Okay, so a cooling quality of mind and a literally cooling experience for the body to exhale through the mouth a few times. Good. Feel into your body. As you exhale, exhale. When you inhale, inhale. That's simple. Okay, advanced is basic, is being basic with precision and mindfulness. Good, and then lift your torso. Straight arms. Arms at about 45-degree angle. With those arms at about a 45-degree angle, do what you do in downward facing dog. This is obviously not downward facing dog. But create the actions of down dog. Press the hands, rotate the arms, broaden the scapula. Good. As you do that, tilt the pelvic rim forward, draw the hip creases back, work through the legs, just like down dog. Good. Another inhalation. Then exhale, right forearm to the floor, right hand holds left knee. Left fingertips to the floor next to the left knee. Lift and rotate the spine to the left. Right hand pulls against left knee. Left knee pushes out against that hand. Good. Scoop the belly in, rotate. Inhale. Exhale, release. Both forearms down. And then walk both forearms to the right. Okay? So you are moving the torso to the right, but you are not rotating the spine. You're not lifting the right side up or dropping it down. You're keeping it level. Okay? With the forearms pressed down, and without actually moving them with the forearms, pull the forearms to the left, which will pull your upper body more to the right. Okay, and that stretches the left hip in a slightly different way. Good, inhale. Then exhale, back to center. Lean to your left, which should feel really good and nice now. Pause for a moment. I don't want you to not like me. And then swing the right leg, maybe it's too late for that. Swing the right leg around. And then lay on your back, knees bent, feet on the floor. Reach your hands towards the ceiling. I saw like a happy little face from like one or two of you, and now I feel bad because it's not Shavasana, and not even, and I feel like that's why like I saw two happy faces. So yeah. Okay, reach the hands towards the ceiling, palms face the ceiling. My understanding, though, is that some people like difficult yoga classes, so those seem to be popular, so I guess you can work. Okay, palms face the ceiling. Bend the knees towards the chest. Lift your head and chest. Good. Recreate the shape of Bakasana as well as you can on your back. Okay, inside of the feet together. Arms to the inside of the knees. Hands to ceiling. Good, couple of breaths. So again, deep into the abdominal cavity, deep into abdominal center here. Good, and take another breath. And then what would be handstand, a reclined version of handstand. Take the arms overhead, straighten the legs towards the front of the sticky mat, hands and legs stay a little bit above the ground, or else it won't feel like the muscular quality of handstand. Right? It'll just feel like you're laying on your back, which is fine. Good, take a breath. And then back into Bakasana. You're glad you don't have to do that like upright. Good, another breath. And then feet down, hands to the belly. Good, take a couple breaths. I've actually been having this thought lately. I don't know how fair this is, but I've been having this thought that a lot of times really advanced classes are actually so hard they're not advanced classes because no one can actually do the stuff. And so everyone just sort of sits around and has these long breaks because they can't do what they're supposed to be doing, in which case it's not actually an advanced class, right? So in order for it to be intense, it actually has to be accessible and sustainable. So reach your hands up towards the ceiling. Good, bend the knees into the chest. Good, lift your head and chest again. Take the right arm to the outside of the left knee. Squeeze the knees together, so it's like you're in Parshvabhakasana. Yes. And then now from Parshvabhakasana, move into what would be a handstand. That's it, reclined handstand. Good. And then same side, Parshvabhakasana. Good, breath. Good, and then to center with your torso. Feet to the floor, head to the floor, hands to the belly. Take a breath or two. Hands to the ceiling, knees towards the chest. Lift the head and chest. Parshvabhakasana, left arm outside of the right knee. Squeeze the knees together. Press the arm into the knee, press the knee into the arm, turn the chest, understand the actions of the pose. And then back to center, handstand. What would be handstand? Good. The hard thing about this is that you can actually do it. Good. And then all the way back up. Left arm to the outside of the right knee. And you can do it with skill, which makes it actually hard. Good. Then come back to center. And then back to the floor. Head to the floor, feet to the floor, hands to the belly. Good. Nice, everyone. Hug the knees towards the chest. Roll all the way up to sitting. Okay? And then now, just like you've done a couple times, cross the right ankle on top of the left inner knee. Flex the right foot. If this does not work for your knees, okay, and make sure that right foot's flexed, so no curve in that foot. Okay, if this does not work for your knees, instead, in a moment, you're going to lay on your back with the soles of the feet together, Supta Baddha Konasana. Okay, so you're going to keep this shape to the legs. Watch me real first. Quickly. It's really simple, but it's good to see first because it's confusing. Can be confusing. Okay, so you're going to let the knees lift. You're going to keep the exact same shape. You're not going to change the positioning. You're going to walk back. You're going to lay all the way down. And you're just going to let the weight of the legs drop. For some of you, this will be very mild. For others of you, this will get part of the hips that is extremely difficult to access otherwise. Okay? And then when we come out of the pose, we'll just pull the knees into the chest. And then we're going to stay down to do the second side. So you just sort of lift up, get that same positioning, and recline once again. Okay? So hands behind you. Let the knees lift. Don't force them down yet. Not in the transition. Let them lift, let them lift, let them lift. Outside of the left foot stays down the lower. And then lean back and lower the legs. If nothing else, it should feel good to lay down right now. Good. Take your hands to your thigh bones. Don't push them down. But like you did in Vira 2, holding those tissues, gently pull towards your knees. As you do that, scoop your belly a little bit in. Scoop the belly in and up. If this feels like a good pose for you because it feels unfamiliar to you, practice it. This is such an easy pose to just put into your evening routine. You just do this for a minute or two before you go to sleep at night. It's a really good pose, and it tends to get part of the hip joint for some people that's just really hard to get to otherwise. Take another breath. And then pull your knees into the chest. Rock a little bit side to side. Good. And then look, left ankle on top of right inner knee. Like you're going to sit with the ankle on top of the knee, but instead you're going to lay with the same orientation. Hands to thighs. Good. Pull the thigh muscles towards the knees, scoop the belly back. Good, take a breath or two there. Another breath, maybe two. Again, notice if this feels unfamiliar. If it feels valuable and unfamiliar, it's really easy to do. Okay, repeat it. And then just hug the knees into the chest. Rock a little bit side to side. Nice. And then roll all the way up to sitting. Straighten your legs forward in front of you. Bend your left knee. Lean back, hold the front of the left ankle, pull the heel all the way into the sitting bone, and then foot to the floor. Then keep that nice deep fold of the leg. Rotate the left thigh out. Yeah. Someone asked me the other day why I don't mirror, and the answer is simple, because I'm terrible at mirroring. I just get totally confused, right? Take that foot on top. You gotta leverage your strengths and minimize your weaknesses. If yoga's taught me anything, it's taught me that. And then bend your right knee. Lean a little bit forward, and if your left knee comfortably comes all the way down to the floor, slide the right foot on top in Padmasana. If the left knee doesn't comfortably come to the floor, don't do Padmasana. Come into Ardha Padmasana. So right now you're in full lotus or half lotus. And if you're in full lotus begrudgingly, like you're in full lotus but it's uncomfortable, hold the top knee and pull it up a little bit. Good. And then from wherever you are, take your hands midway between the knees and the thighs. Good. Hands to the floor. Lean back, lift the knees, flex the feet. Inhale. And then as you exhale, lean forward, press down, and see if you can lift. Good. Another breath. And then all the way down. And then those of you in half lotus, take your left hand to your right knee. Wrong way. Right hand to left knee. Left hand behind you, twist to the left. Those of you in full lotus, come up onto your knees. See, I'm going to do a harder pose, what's the point, right? Hands down. I mean, I guess there's a point. Pull the knees in, and then if you can lift up. Let's keep lifting up. Kukutasana. And then all the way down. Untangle. Extend both legs straight forward. Paschimottanasana. See, theoretically, that makes it harder, but it doesn't make it harder because it's too hard for most people to do, so it becomes spectator, right? You get the point on that? Trying to re-envision what is actually a hard class, versus what is not a hard class. Bend the left knee, fold it deeply, and then open that right leg out to the right. Yes. Take the right leg into half lotus. Bend the left knee, lean a little forward, and if that right knee comes comfortably to the floor, slide the leg on top. On this side, mine doesn't. My knee does not come to the floor, and my knee's uncomfortable. So it's half lotus time. Begrudging half lotusers, hold the ankle or hold the knee, lean back, nurse it, take a couple breaths. Full lotusers, press the hands down, lift. Good. Scales pose, Talasana. And then all the way down. Half lotusers, twist. Left hand, right knee, right hand behind you, do a twist. No matter, if you can't be in full lotus, do a twist right now. Full lotusers, hands forward, lean forward, and just lift your knees up. Couple of breaths, keep lifting, scoop them up, lift them. If your knees are not off the floor, you are twisting to the right now. Good. Good. Keep your focus. Another inhalation. And then exhale, come back to center. Extend the legs straight forward. Paschimottanasana. Yes. Good. A couple of breaths. Settle in. Krishnamacharya had a saying that I think is important to be repeated more and more often. And that saying was 95% of the benefit of yoga comes from the easiest 5% of things that you do. I truly believe it. I really believe it. But maybe the 5% of the hardest things we do keeps it interesting in the long run, keeps it sort of inspiring and interesting. I'm not downgrading the importance of doing some hard poses. There's value in it. But we tend to conflate the value. I think the value is in the inspiration. Okay, but the simple stuff, the continuous stuff, the accessible and sustainable stuff, that's the deep value. That's where the deep benefits of this practice are. Good. One more breath. Really nice job. Good. And then slowly sit up. And then we'll sit any way you are comfortable to sit for about 2 minutes, and you'll have a nice long Shavasana. So Virasana, half lotus, full lotus. I personally like to sit on a block in Siddhasana, aspirant's pose. Spine in its natural, neutral curves, or its balancing set of contrasting curves. Of course, we want stability from the hip joint, and we want mobility from the abdominal region. But really what we tend to emphasize and embellish is the mobility of the hip joint and the stability of the abdominal region. The proximity of these two parts of the body to each other are pretty amazing. You have this incredibly mobile hip joint and this incredibly stable lower abdominal region. And so we just work to tune in and embellish that. All right, let your breathing be easy. Observe yourself sitting. The harder, more complicated, sort of sexier postures have value. But they don't present us with a benefit that the simple poses don't also present us with. And so when we experiment with a harder pose here and there, let's be even-minded and not simple-minded about it. Fold the palms, bow the chin. It's a nice comforting cycle of breath on your own. Breathe into your center, breathe out of your center. Great. Lift your head, release the arms, eyes open. Lay back, Shavasana. Make yourself comfortable, please. Give you some quiet here. Let yourself rest. Allow your abdomen and pelvic floor to feel soft and to occupy space. And allow your hip joint to feel released. Staying as you are, become aware of the sensations of the body. Become aware of the light, easy quality of your breath. If this isn't as beneficial as any other posture that you've done, then I'm very confused and mistaken. And this is about physically as easy as it gets. Quality of the pose. The mental engagement with the pose is maybe hard, but there's amazing quality from the simplicity of this. Slowly draw one knee at a time into your chest. Those of you at home, if you have more time to stay in the pose, you are obviously more than welcome to do so. Stay at your leisure. Those of you at home that are ready to move on, and those of you assembled in this room, please roll to your right. Pause there. And then continue into your hands. Sit up. Okay, good stuff. Thanks for taking care of yourself with your practice. Namaste.
Namaste.